Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, an anime about a complete shut-in loser. Okay, now you're just being mean. This shut-in gets a visit from the Grim Reaper and is reincarnated into a world of fantasy and magic. Enter Rudius Greyrat, a young chap who uses the bizarre 40-year-old voice in his head.
Hello there. I'm Rudius, a former jobless bum. Today, we're looking at a hot new apartment that can be yours for the low, low price of free.
Mixed with the wisdom of already having lived a full life to conquer this new world. There's an abundance of things to say of Mushoku Tensei. While I would normally start with the characters, I'd be remiss if I didn't quickly touch on the mature nature of the show. Here's a good setup. We see Rudius from the very start of his reincarnation. He meets his new mom and says to himself something akin to, "God damn, look at those knockers." Well, boys will be boys. This show does ecchi in a very unique way. Usually when sexual content is shown in anime, it feels like it was shoved in with no regard for the flow of the story. In Mushoku Tensei, it makes sense to the point where it would kinda be wrong to leave it out. It's also incredibly abundant, so it matters.
But I did enjoy that.
I say all of this to get across the point that if you don't want to see a very virile man stuck in a child's body, you might want to steer clear. But if you watch anime, let's be fair, you'll likely love this sort of ridiculous humor. But I digress.
You're cringe!
Anywho, on to the characters. I often unconditionally love characters that I just tend to like, regardless of any pitfalls. However, in this anime, I have to tell you that these characters are just perfect. The main character, Rudius, is a joy to see go through life. I never thought watching somebody study could be so fun, but I guess I was wrong. He isn't just funny and constantly comedic, he's inherently a character with an abundance of flaws that we get to see champion his own redemption. I get what you're gonna say. If the main character is amazing, almost any anime can succeed. But damn it, that's not all. Everyone here is so great. Take the tried and true tsundere character, Eris Greyrat, who is the main character's love interest, and also his cousin. But, let's ignore that. It's hard to get tsunderes right. You have to simultaneously make the character somebody who nobody in their right mind would want to be around, but also give the viewer a reason to tolerate them. Our introduction to Eris does this perfectly, because, well, it's hilarious. Rudius walks in like, "Sup girl, I'm your new tutor," and she beats the shit out of him. And being the courteous young chap, Rudius allows it, because he knows that his incredible charm will whittle her down eventually.
Won't you please teach Eris how to do magic, meow?
Women.
If we want to continue along the line of chatting about the main character's almost accidental accruement of a harem, what about the first of many lollies, Roxy? Hold on, guys. She's actually like a 40-year-old demon elf thing, so it's not weird. I swear to you. Roxy is kind of a funny character. Her starting demeanor is cocky and a little aloof, but since nobody is static here, she of course comes to realize how epic and talented our main character is, and she's starstruck. When I said Rudius accidentally accrued a harem of ladies, I meant it. Hell, a maid lady gives birth to a mini-maid lady, then immediately tells the mini-maid that her husband will be Rudius. Why? 'Cause he's awesome, I guess.
Oh, please say yes. My mother says I'm gonna do a lot of growing, and one day I'll have a body that'll make boys want to make babies.
Lilia?
The show also commits its phenomenal animation, and it does have phenomenal animation, to some incredible scenes of action. Whether it's Rudius sparring with his father, or a beautiful explosion, it's just amazing. When it comes to close quarters, one-on-one combat, you could argue that Mushoku Tensei dominates the medium. Before I let you go with a glowing review, there are of course some drawbacks. For starters, occasionally the story takes hard turns away from established lines. It's almost like the writers were aware that the current direction was far too good, that they couldn't keep it going. But instead of presenting something else to grab our attention, they just have something pop up and eradicate any possibility of continuance. Without spoiling it, there's a moment where one of the first storylines is happily moving along, and what I can only compare to a nuke exploding halts it in its tracks. The characters and their motivations also fall into this odd trope of doing things completely out of left field to force the story somewhere else. Take Rudius's father. After requesting that he help send one of his friends to magic college, a weird name, responds by beating him up and sending him a few hours away with a jacked beast woman to work for his cousin. Look, the bad parts are easily overshadowed by the good. Part 1, or Season 1, is easily a 10 out of 10. I gave the second a 9, but it's due to the same problems that I just listed that weren't completely overshadowed by the positives. If you love anime, you'll probably love this show, so give it a try. This has been your American Otaku. And I'd tell you why you need to like and subscribe, but Levi needs me right now. And I never leave the short king without an ally.